Yo, this is FTN Sports, and today we're going to talk about the top 10 goalies in the NHL coming into the 2023-2024 season. So, at number 10, we have, might be controversial, but we have Thatcher Demko. Yes, he did have a horrible start to the season. Yes, he did get injured, but the second half, or maybe last 20 games, he was absolutely incredible. We know what he's capable of. I think he's very solid. I think Vancouver's defense is very bad, so his numbers might be lower than you want, but I still think he's very good and he deserves to be in the top 10. Okay, number 9 is Carter Hart. This one, Carter Hart went from being overrated to underrated the last couple of years. Um, he's still pretty young. He had an over 905 save percentage for the past two seasons, in which the Flyers missed both seasons. They missed the playoffs, and they were horrible. So that says a lot about his numbers. Uh, I just think he's really grown into his own. He's calmer in the crease than he used to be. Uh, Overall, I just think he's very solid. Most people overlook him now. They just, I don't know. I think he's underrated, and I like him. I think he's a pretty elite goalie, especially behind that dog shit Flyers defense. So yeah, that's why he's at number 9. Number 8 is John Gibson. Pretty similar to Carter Hart. Apparently, he asked for a trade, but then his agent denied it. But then Frank Saravalli came out and told him like, yeah, there's a lot of noise surrounding John Gibson. He's been stuck in Anaheim his entire career. I think he's very solid. Pretty similar to Carter Hart in terms of playing for a bad team who allows a lot of goals. Um, I know his numbers aren't the best, but I still think he's elite. I don't know. I don't know. I think he's the eighth best goalie in the NHL. You feel free to disagree. You can tell me why you think I'm wrong in the comments. At number seven is Jacob Markstrom. This one's funny because last year, after he was a Vezina finalist, everybody had him in their top 5, and now nobody has him in their top 10 even. So uh, I'm not one to overreact after one season. So that's why last year I didn't have him in my top 5, and that's why this year he's not outside the top 10. I think he's a top 10 goalie in the NHL. He might be inconsistent. He might, yeah, his inconsistencies really hurt him. And in the playoffs, he hasn't shown he can really go on a deep run with a team, like carry the team on his shoulders. But overall, I think he's very solid, just like the other goalies we talked about today. He's been the starter in Vancouver. He's the starter now in Calgary. He was elite last year. He had a down year this year. Uh, I don't think that makes him a bad goalie. I still think he's very good, and I think he's the 7th best goalie in the NHL. At number 6, this might be controversial too. Jake Ottinger, just because he's very young. I didn't want to put him in my top 10 originally, but the last two playoffs, he's really impressive in the playoffs, is what I'm trying to say. Like, this guy just stands on his head in the playoffs. He's incredible. His team might not win all the time in the playoffs, but I think he was really solid, especially when he faces a lot of shots. In the regular season, he might be a little bit inconsistent, but that might be due to his young age. He was drafted in 2017, so that makes him what, is it 24, 23, 24? So that's still really young for a goalie. And for him to be a starter and then an elite starter at that age, I'm really impressed. And I think the sky is the limit for this guy. I think he might he might win a couple Vesnas in his career. So yeah, shout out to Jake Ottinger. Now in the top five, I think the top five we can mostly agree on. At number five, I have Connor Hellebuck, or like I like to call him Connor Hellefuck, because he's frustrating to watch. Sometimes he's just incredible. Nothing will get past him. He won't make any mistakes. He'll even make good passes. But other times he'll let a floater go in from the blue line, or he'll blow a 3-goal lead with 10 minutes left in the third. Like, really, what I don't understand about Connor Hellebuck is either he's great or he's horrible. But when he's great, he is great. So that's why I have him in my top five. The only thing missing from his resume is really playoff success. I know they went all the way to the conference finals in 2018, but I'm not gonna put it all on him for the Jets failures. I would say, like, they're not really failures, but they haven't accomplished much in the playoffs. But I still think Connor Hellebuck is like a top five goalie in the league, even though I don't really like him. At number four, we have UC Saros. UC Saros, the successor of Pekka Rinne, just an undersized goalie. He's what, 5'10", 5'11", but if you want to talk about consistency, this guy does it night in and night out. He plays almost every game. He's really reliable. You know what he's gonna give you. Above 910 save percentage almost every game. Like, this guy's really consistent, and the fact he's doing it while being the shortest guy on the list is pretty impressive. That's another guy I think who's underrated. UC Saros. Like, even Connor Hellebuck gets talked about more than UC Saros, which is, well, it's understandable. I don't know. It's weird. I feel like UC Saros is underrated. I think he's absolutely an elite goalie. He's really underpaid. His team is not very good. I think they should rebuild, but that's a discussion for another day. But UC Saros, nothing to complain about here. And now for the top three, the three best goalies in the league. At number three, we have Ilya Sorokin. This guy's sensational. The Islanders would be, they wouldn't be as good. Well, they're not really good. They'd be nowhere without this guy. He is absolutely incredible. I don't know what to say. Like, he is so good. He never makes any mistakes. He's so sound. He doesn't waste energy. He can play night in and night out. I don't know. There's really nothing, no weaknesses to his game. I don't know what to say. The back-to-back Eastern Conference Finals the Islanders went to were largely in, like, his doing. Yes, they're pretty good defensively, but Sorokin is just on another level. And the only two guys who are ahead of him have won Vezina trophies, number one, and they have more career accomplishments. But I think Sorokin could be the best goalie in the league. Like, on any given night, Ilya Sorokin could be the best goalie in the league. He's that good. So at number two, we have Igor Shesterkin. Last year he won the Vezina. This year was a little tougher for him, but he still was pretty good. Last year everybody was ranking him number one. This year everybody's down on him. Pretty similar to Jacob Markstrom. Sometimes he'll be great, sometimes he'll be middling. But I think he should be about 915 to 920 save percentage guy. Last year was like a career year. We can all agree on that, but I still think he's the second best goalie in the league. I put him ahead of Sorokin just because Like I said, he has the resume. He won a Vezina, which Sorokin did not yet, but really both of them are really incredible. I think the top three you can argue all three goalies in the top three you can argue for to be number one, and Shesterkin is also him. He is him. Okay. But at number one, I still have Andrei Vasilevsky. He has had two consecutive down years by his standards. But even then, what was he at? Almost 910, 1910 save percentage. The only reason why I have him at number one ahead of Shesterkin and Sorokin is because of the resume once again. A goalie who wins the Vezina is one thing, but a goalie who wins the Conn Smythe is another. He has won both, so just based on that, I have to put him at number one. I will say this: I think this year he bounces back and has a great year along with Tampa Bay for one last ride. Uh, if we can call it that, I think they're gonna finish. I think they might finish number one in the division. So I think Vasilevsky's gonna have a great year, and everybody's gonna be well. He's gonna take everybody by surprise, right? Because now it seems like he's underrated because I keep saying that. I keep saying goalies are underrated, but I think people are overlooking him for the next big thing, like Linus Solmark, who wasn't on this list because, like a bit similarly to Shesterkin, I think he had a fluke year, a career year. Like, no disrespect to him whatsoever. I think he deserved the Vezina, but I don't think he can repeat the year he just had because it's just ridiculous. He scored a goal. Everything went right for him. Like, it was crazy. It can't be that good again, right? I still think Olmark is a great goalie, but he's not in the top 10. Why am I talking about Olmark when Vasilevsky's on the screen? I don't know. Anyway, Vasilevsky's the best goalie. You can argue with me all you want in the comments. Tell me why you think you know more than me and I'm an idiot. Okay? Yeah. Go go kiss a dog or something.